Alright, this video is on bread and circuses. So, fucking damn it. Here in the United States, we are not based off of Athenian democracy, nor anything close. We are based off of imperialist Rome. Why do I say that? Why don't I say Roman Republic? Well, although we had, during the Roman Republic, there was the equivalent of a president, there were actually two of them. And that was so that too much power was never given to one person. Now we have basically what the Imperials did, which is to bypass the Senate, to do as they choose. I guess I should turn my phone around for this video. Rome controlled its masses through bread and circuses. Not sure how many of y'all are familiar with that, but we have our modern day equivalent. Professional sports. And those professional sports are so important for entertaining, for keeping the minds of the masses off of what the government is doing, that, well, we even get our kids involved in that. Yes, health is important. Sports are not. If you're playing sports for fun, that's fine. But when it becomes entertainment for the masses, well, it's just something insane. I know so many people, they believe that if their team wins, that somehow it's a victory for them. No, it's a waste of your time. I know so many people who could have done a lot to change the world and really seemed like they had a lot of motivation to do so even. But then you get the football game on and they don't care about anything else in the world. They don't care if their children are beating each other as long as they're quiet or rooting for the same team. Bread and circuses. Now, where did that saying come from? Well, the Romans had a lot of problems with their people rising up and starting wars with themselves. So the Romans decided, well, what are they complaining the most about, and how do we distract them from it? Something we do to this day. The media does the same thing. We have more media coverage on sports, death, and destruction than anything else. But we tend to try to look away from the actual issues, the actual problems. We turn issues of poverty into issues of gender or issues of skin color or national origin, when in reality, those of all genders and all colors and all nationalities are punished in a capitalist society. Any society with major hierarchy, matter of fact, our government is too big. They have too many expectations of their own people. At this point, the only thing that we have going for us is bread and circuses. Now, I understand a lot of you guys, you don't want negativity in your life. You're bombarded by it all the time from the news, from your parents, from, well, social media. Constantly bombarded by this negativity. And you want positivity in your life. So, you complain about how things aren't going well in your life. But you don't want to hear about the next guy or he's toxic. You care less about your neighbor being railroaded in court for things that he didn't do, you do about your own football team. Between helping your neighbor and being pissed off at him because he's rooting for a team you don't like, man, that's just stupid. Because you have no stake in a football game. Even if you're placing wages on that football game, you have no stake in it. You know why that is? Because you're not playing. Now that brings me to my next point. Players. People say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Well, that's stupid. Without players, there is no game. Human lives are not a game. Humans' emotions are not a game to be played, Jamie. But it all depends on who you are. If you're rich or pretty, it's okay to manipulate others. It's okay to screw around with the emotions of others. It's okay to two-time bread and circuses. See, you don't want people telling your personal business because then they'll catch you. Like James finding out that you were dating somebody else. I have a lot of respect for James after the 2 times that I've spoken with him since Natalie disappeared. Both times James has shown me respect, treated me with respect, has not been an insulting asshole. Do you not get how important that is? Integrity. Me, I wasn't heard, so I threw that crap right out the window. Not from James, but from myself. I don't have the look or the size or the facilities to observe social niceties. I don't care about the bread and circuses beyond the fact that they detract from you looking at the real issues. Meanwhile, the things that I was saying about the government and it being all the way down on the local and city levels, this child trafficking and human trafficking, but nobody wanted to listen to me. They wanted to call me crazy. Then, when this stuff actually comes out on the news, comes out in the courts, y'all realize that these people have the money to go to court. They have a house and a roof over their head. They have the resources needed, a copy machine, in order to make copies of what they need to, and the ability to transfer funds if they need to. And you pretend it's because you worked hard. No, it's not. Because you had a good start. And you had a lot of help along the way. I know a lot of people who say they did it all on their own, and I can tell you, not one person I have ever met did it on their own. Not even one. Bread and circuses, folks. You watch Sunday night football and Monday night football and Thursday night football, and I don't care about football. Football isn't the only circus, though. See, the term circus comes from Circus Maximus. This is basically ancient NASCAR. Different circuses. Here in America, you might not get people to waste their time watching football. So you gotta hope that they might like NASCAR, or they might be into baseball, soccer. Baseball's a boring sport. Soccer, that's a lot more fun. Now, we've also got this sexism rampant in the United States, but it's acceptable. We blame everything on men. Everything that ever happened in America is always a man's fault. Every decision that a woman makes is a man's fault. Every decision a man makes is a man's fault. When a man is in a fucked up situation, we tell him it's his fault for being there. He should not have been out partying that late. When the same thing happens to a woman, we're not allowed to say that. Oh, a woman should be allowed to go wherever she wants without fear. But a man shouldn't. If something terrible happens to a woman, how is that a man's fault? If something terrible happens to a man, how is that a man's fault? Just because of his gender. That's fucking insane. And then something major comes up that, well, the world needs to take a look at. And instead of taking a look at that issue, we go straight to the bread and circus. Now for our Broncos score.